And well, as always, let's begin by closing our eyes and remembering that our practice is really a gift to us in this moment. So as you close your eyes and settle into your body, really try to take an assessment of how you are in all the layers of your being. And remember that your practice is this gift to support you. So today is a unique day. I know for Michelle, it certainly is a unique day. Maybe for other people, there's something very important or specific happening today that you're kind of in preparation for. Maybe it's just a regular day and you want to make sure you don't miss it. And so you kind of bring yourself into presence so that you don't let the day go by. All right, so ground into your sit bones. And as you kind of assess, how are you right now? See if there's any postural change or breath technique that might be very soothing and supportive of what you're finding. What do you need in your practice today? And to me, the very best yoga practices that I've experienced are ones that I allow myself to kind of follow paths. So if I'm ever doing something and your body's like, no, I want to go this way, give yourself moments where you get to follow your own intuition. You don't always have to follow me. So drop into the weight of your pelvis. Let your legs soften and relax. And feel the rising buoyancy of your spine. And as your spine finds its spaciousness, see if you can feel held within the spine where you don't have to push, you don't have to kind of lock yourself into a position, but that your body can be self-supporting, that there's ease and restfulness within the posture. And then as your head and aligns and your spine feels its optimal arrangement for ease and stability, see if you can just slightly lift and open the heart. And it can just be an energetic feeling. It doesn't have to be anything big physically. It could be physically, but just see if you can orient toward the open heart. And when you do this, what subtly changes in your mind, in your emotions, in your connection to the world, your willingness to be a part of the world? And as your posture finds its way into this open, spacious, stable place, invite the breath in. See what it feels like to slow down the breath. There's nothing very specific you need to do. You can. If you want to do a specific breath technique, you can. But just see at the basic level if you can just slow the breath down, both on the in breath, the pauses, and then the out breath. See if you can tether your mind to the slow pace of your breathing, giving yourself that sense of peace and ease and calmness that a slow breath provides. Is it hard to settle yourself? Is it easy to settle yourself? Sometimes it's easier after you've moved your body to kind of find this quiet inside. When you feel ready, bring your hands to your heart and lift your heart bow into the state of grace that your open heart can provide. Offer an intention here. And relax your hands. And let's find our way onto your back. So as you stretch out, enjoy. There's a lot of good space and length available in your body. So as you lengthen, notice what's here and what feels good. Let your spine kind of spill out and feel the ease of your legs. Drop them into the earth and let the weight of your pelvis and legs ground you. Then when you're ready, stretch your arms overhead and find some good reaching and some good length. Stretching the right side, stretching the left side, and just enjoying what it feels like to open up through your body. Draw your knees into your chest and rock a little bit, swaying. Okay. Ease through your mind, ease through your skull. Let the rocking kind of soften you. Take your knees and start to swirl them, circling one way. See if you can pay attention to your breath as we practice, not letting it get short or shallow, but keeping it steady and long as best as you can. Turn your knees the other way. Let your pelvis soften on the ground, a nice ease through your sacrum. Open up your knees away from the midline, bring them back in, and just enjoy. See what it feels like at this just beginning stages of what the hips feel like. Do they feel the same, or do you have different sensations in one hip versus the other? What's going on with your hip joints today, your back, your pelvis? Right knee into your chest, left leg long on the ground, and let's roll around in your ankles, wiggle through your toes, feeling a sense of ease come through your skull. Breathing deeply. And then we'll cross that right leg over to the left and stretch open to a twist and enjoy the openness across your pecs and your chest. Maybe your head is turning, maybe your arm is moving. Just see what feels good. And then come back to center, bring that knee into the chest, pick up your head. And then we'll switch sides, left knee into your chest, right leg long. Move around in your ankles, wiggle through your toes, feel that movement in your feet. Soften through your skull. All right, and then we'll cross that left knee over to the right, stretch open through your chest. A breath in, a breath out. All right, and then draw that knee back into the chest. Give your knee a nice hug. And then we'll stretch open to a star, reaching your limbs really wide. Roll your wrists and your ankles here. A big stretch open. Exhale, draw the knees into the chest. One more time, expanding through your body. Exhale, knees in. Put your head down, grab onto your feet, a little bit of a happy baby. Drop your knees down toward your ribs. Maybe rocking feels good, maybe stillness feels good. Just allow your body to open up, feeling your low back spread out a little bit. And then start to take your feet a little bit wider. So stay with your knees bent a bit so you don't have to straighten your legs like a V, but just take your legs a little bit wider away from the midline and notice what's here. We often do this stretch standing, where we come into a deep squat, a deep wide squat. So just notice what it feels like with your spine on the ground. And then while you're here, just a teeniest bit of tip of the tailbone toward the ground. So you find that low back arch just a littlest bit so your low back isn't smushed into the ground. And then relax and bring your knees back in toward the midline and rock a little bit left and right. Put your feet onto the ground, arms out to the side, and let's windshield wiper our knees left and right. And just find some movement through the hips, through the back. Just nice and gentle. If you want to turn your head in opposition of your knees, you can do that. All right, then maybe one more starfish out in space. Exhale, draw the knees into your chest and roll to your side. As you come to all fours, and let's enjoy. Okay? Kind of finding the ground underneath you. Maybe lean into the right side, lean into the left, so you just feel the earth. And then we'll start to move through some cat-cows, arching and rounding the spine and taking your time, feeling your way into the movement here. A big breath in, a long breath out. Full movement, full breathing. And then any kind of movement that your spine wants. You can wag your tail, you can circle through your hips, move your pelvis around. All right, and then come back to a child's pose and walk the hands far out in front of you, feeling that stretch and length through your ribs, through your shoulders. Inch your fingers, maybe another inch forward. All right, and then we'll come to a side body stretch here, lengthening over to one side. And oftentimes I lift my hips up a little bit more in this pose than dropping them way down. Just experiment, find what gives you the sensation that your body's looking for. Relax your neck. And then we'll come over to the other side and feel some length here. Dropping some weight through your sit bone, reaching through your side body. A breath in, a breath out. And then come back to center. Back up onto your hands and your knees. Let's reach one arm up, roll your wrist around. Full breath in, exhale. Drop that shoulder down. Gaze toward the floor. A nice, gentle twist here, finding the breath. Feel free, if you like, to face the ground a little bit more, to stretch your shoulder differently. All right, and then inhale, bring that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground and we'll switch sides. Bring that arm up in the air, give a little swirl in your wrist if you'd like, and then drop the shoulder down. Gaze toward the ground, neck is easeful, full breaths. Notice the breath might want to get shallow. Keep filling it and emptying it. Stretch your shoulder a little differently if you want to, if it feels good. And then inhale, bring that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down. Let's find our first dog pose. So as you lengthen your body, reach upward. Take a little time here. Enjoy your legs. See if you can pedal a little bit. Get your feet to wake up. Say hi to the new sensation as it arises and try to enjoy. So even, if things hurt or if you struggle with different parts of your practice, see if you can take refuge in the mobility of your body and the sensations of your body. Let's all just deeply hold gratitude for our health, all this well-being that we have. Let's enjoy and appreciate. Okay, walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana, forward fold. Relax your neck, dangle it a little bit. Find ease through your skull. Find a halfway lift, extend, open up through your spine. Heart forward, shoulders back. While you're here in this half lift, so maybe put blocks if you're used to putting your hands on your legs, maybe use some blocks so you have some nice length in your body. And then pedal your feet while you're here, dropping one hip back and then the other hip back. So we're going asymmetrically through our pelvis here, feeling a little lengthening through our hamstrings and those outer glutes, your gluteus medius and minimus. Maybe the feet pedal a little bit, toes lift on one side, heel lifts on the other side. Just kind of find that line from your hips all the way down to the soles of your feet. All right, and then spread your toes, ground your feet, get wide feet, root them down, head folds deeply, relax your head. Grab onto the base of your skull and have just a little bit of traction, lengthening through those paraspinal muscles. You can draw your head down toward the ground and then your chin toward your chest. And then push through your feet and we'll rise all the way up. Bring the arms upward if you're dizzy. Hug to the midline a little bit. Feel an open heart spread through your wings, cactus your chest, lift that heart again like we did in the beginning. Feel that willingness to be an open-hearted person here. Exhale, round and chin toward your chest. Take your hands to a fist, pull your fists forward, stretch the back of your spine, your shoulder blades, and slowly come down toward the ground. Bend your knees. Push through your feet, rise up, arms up to the sky, and then exhale and float again. Notice your body warming up to movement, a halfway lift, extend and open the body. Exhale down, back to a dog pose. Take this posture, feel the yielding in the ground, find your breath again. Full deep inhale, a full exhale. Enjoy your body, enjoy your breath. Come forward into a plank on your next breath in. Root down, find the ground, and we'll slowly lower ourselves all the way to the earth. You can always put your knees down first to protect your shoulders anytime you need. Let's roll the shoulders here. Take a deep breath in, cobra pose. Enjoy the open spine. Exhale, coming back down. Twice more, shoulders back, elbows back. Open up the front of your spine. As you exhale, lower your body down. Stabilize with your legs. Make sure you're stable in your glutes, your core, your legs as you rise up. And then we'll release toward the ground. Come up onto all fours. Wiggle your spine, move it around. Maybe drop your hips over to one side, over to the other side. Just enjoy. Find your way to a dog pose again, extending upward, opening the backs of the legs. Let's take our feet a little wider, edges of your mat wide. Feel your breath enter you. Feel the slight change in where your hamstrings lengthen. And then walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana. A halfway lift, opening up here. Sit bones high, release down. Neck is long. Push through your feet, rising up. And then trace right down through the center of your body. And pause for a moment and just notice how you feel. Let's return to our breathing for a moment here. Touch into that fullness of the breath, the concentration of the mind within the breath. Let's hold some gratitude for our well-being. Look what we have. We have our bodies that move so well. We have our minds that think so well. We have our breath that is easy. Inhale, rise up with your arms. And exhale, and float forward. A halfway lift, expand through the heart. Exhale, release again. Step the left foot back, come to a lunge. On this side, ground yourself, open through your heart, and we'll begin to move, bending and straightening through that front leg, moving with your breath, linking your breath in your movements. All this preparation for our hamstrings and hip flexors to be supple and mobile. And put your back knee down onto the ground. Find a deep lunge here, and we'll rise up, bring the arms to the sky. Lots of energy in your legs, so we're not falling to the earth, but pressing down and opening up. Take a twist, elbow, forearm, or hand on that right knee with your left elbow, hand, or knee. Find the twist. Open your breath. See if you can lengthen through the hip flexor of that back leg, that left leg. All right, come back to center. Now we'll come into half Hanumasana. So take your blocks maybe backward toward your body a little bit more, just so you can hold them both from the straight leg version and the bent leg version. So kind of blocks at midway tend to be a good place. And just like we do with our back knee off the ground, let's do it with our back knee on the ground, where we bend and we straighten. All right, now pause here. Toes, like with your legs straight, toes up. I like to bring my blocks a little closer to my body so I can be upright a little bit more. Imagine an anchor on that sit bone. Lift your spine. Find your breath. Opening up your hamstrings. We're going to take the blocks, maybe two of them, stacked up on the inside edge of your right leg, and we'll twist here. Reaching that right arm up and turn to the right. Keep mindful of your right toes pointing straight up instead of letting your leg turn out. Keep that neutral femur bone. Drop the shoulders and lift the heart. Keep dropping the hip like it has an anchor on it. Press your left shin to give you the support. How's your breath? And then relax that. Bring your front knee back. Child's pose, and just soften through your hamstrings. Just release any tension that the stretching might have given, maybe a little bit of rocking with your pelvis. And we'll move our way into the second side. So left knee or left foot is in front. Let's lift that back knee up off the ground, find a full lunge here. All right, we'll begin to bend and straighten the front knee. Find your breath. And then place the back knee on the ground. Come on up to a modified crescent lunge. Our knee is down. Unless you want to lift up into a regular crescent lunge, that's fine too. Hug to the midline with your legs. Press your front foot down into the ground. Find that extension in your spine. And then when you're ready, we'll twist here. Big breaths as you twist. Let the obliques help the twisting. Fill up your lungs. Feel those fibers in your lower rib cage stretch open. Keep stabilizing by hugging your legs to the midline and pressing the front foot and knee, back knee down. And then we'll come out of that twist. Hands back onto the blocks. And we'll find our way into some mobility. Walk those blocks maybe halfway, where, like in your line with your knee, perhaps somewhere around there, whatever feels good. And we'll bend into the lunge, and we'll come back into half Hanumasana. S- Allowing for that full range of motion of flexion and extension in the hips. All right, and then pause here in your half Hanumasana. Walk your blocks back a little closer to your pelvis so you can lift the spine and find all this space in the body. Feel your breath. Notice your toes, point them straight up. Drop your hip down. Can you lift the heart? Okay, and then we'll take the blocks onto the inside edge of your left foot or left leg. I have my blocks closer, kind of at my knee. Maybe you're a little closer to your torso. Just find what's comfy. We'll reach the left arm up and swing open to a twist, being mindful to keep your left toes pointing straight up instead of letting them turn out. As your toes lift up and your femur bone stays neutral, drop the hip down toward the ground like it has a weight hanging off of it. Lift the heart. Turn your head if it's comfy. Find your breath. And then we'll come back to neutral. And again, find child's pose and just let your legs relax in this neutral place. All right. Let's find our way to a dog pose, feeling that extension in your body. Reach and lengthen here. A full breath in. Exhale, walk your feet forward. A halfway lift, opening up through the spine. And release back down. Head is long. Turn sideways on your mat, wide legs. Come up to stand, and we'll come into that deep, wide squat here. Elbows inside your knees. If you want to rock from one leg to another, you can. Feel the grounding of those feet, all four corners of your feet. Open up your knees, stretching through the inner thighs as you drop your sit bones down. Come on up to stand. One standing pose here. Turn your foot to the right, your right foot out to the right, and stretch open into a Parsva And just let this pose open up your hip, your back hip a lot. See if you can draw your femur bone back in the joint and lengthen through that whole side. Enjoy the upper body stretching and lengthening as well. The full side body from your heel to your fingers reach. And then come on up when you're ready, and we'll turn our feet and go to the other side. Come into Parsva. Bring your elbow onto your knee or your hand onto the floor or block, and stretch open in this pose. Try not to let your right hip push forward. Draw it back. See if you can open up that left knee. Find that extension through your whole side. Release any tension from your hands, from your jaw, from your neck. Full pressure of your feet into the ground. Try not to crunch your toes. Get the whole foot to root. How's the breath? And then come back up. Turn your feet straight. Pasrita. You can put your hands on blocks if you'd like, or you can put your hands on the ground. And there's so many variations of this. You can have your hands in between your feet. You can have your hands out in front of you like dog pose. Lengthening through the hamstrings in a slightly different way than when our legs are neutral. All right. Then we'll toe, heel, toe until we get to neutral. And one more time, come down to a child's pose. Put your knees together and have them nice and close and just relax through your legs. When we come into deep stretches like we've been doing, it's important to kind of stretch the rubber band and then let it recoil and neutralize and feel softness so that when we come into the next stretch, our lengthening happens over time. It's not something that we tug on and then forget about. So recognize the progressive nature of our awakening of all these muscle lengths. Okay. All right, we're going to come into a pigeon pose. So grab your supports. I like a blanket underneath my hip and knee. Maybe you do too. Maybe you like something different. So find your variation, right leg in front. Be very mindful that you don't just lean into the right side. We want to square the pelvis and have a sense of balance through the two sides of our pelvis. Hands on the blocks first, just so that you get some extension and lift and lengthen in the body. And then as you come down, come forward. See if you can reach your heart forward instead of just hunkering down. And then adjust anything that needs a little bit of adjusting. And when you're ready to rest in the pose, perhaps take a block to put your head on. You could also use your hands. Maybe you can't do this pose, it bothers your knee or your hip and you're on your back, and that's great too. So if you want to do reverse pigeon, that's always available. Square the pelvis as best as you can. Get some weight bearing downward in that left hip. Wide sit bones, a slight lift of the tailbone so that your low back isn't, you want to find neutrality in your lumbar spine. So an ever so slight anterior tilt will create that. Because oftentimes we kind of tuck the tail under in this pose. So release it upward. How's your breathing? Can your heart stay open instead of kind of collapsing inward? Stay connected to your breath. All right, well, come on up onto your hands, and you can transition out of this pose however you like. Maybe you like to just swing that left leg forward. Maybe you like a dog pose in between. So just kind of find how you like to transition and adjust to the second side. The second side is not the first side, so notice what needs to be different here for your body. When you get settled in pigeon, if you're doing pigeon, put your hands on blocks if you'd like to just help you lift and find the lift upward in the spine and in the heart. And as you come forward, see if you can keep your heart extending and your spine extending instead of collapsing downward. When you get comfy with your head down on a block, check in with your pelvis again. Does anything need to be adjusted? Are you leaning into your left hip more than your right? Can you balance things out? Are your sit bones and tail kind of tucked under you, or can you lift and widen? Lengthen the spine again. Always, always, when you do a posture deep like this, we want to make sure that our joints are in good places. If you have any red flags going on, you need to adjust. You can try taking your heel closer to your pubic bone if you need a little more ease. If you're ready for a little more depth, you can pull your heel a little further away from your pubic bone. If there's any, check in not just with your knee, but your ankle, your hip, your SI joint, your low back. Are all your joints stable in this pose? Are you able to breathe freely? Is there ease coming into you through your hands, your face, your neck, your shoulders? Focus on the breath. All right, we'll come out of that posture when you feel ready. Okay, so take your time, move kind of slowly. Remember, when we come out of these deeply held poses, we want to have some ease for a moment. So come on to your back, bring your knees to your chest or straighten them out, which would feel more easeful. For me, straightening my legs out feels more easeful. But for some people, bringing their knees to their chest is more easeful. So just kind of find what helps you neutralize from the depths of that pose. We're moving slowly through these transitions. All right. We're all going to come onto our back and grab a strap. Or if you don't have a strap, you can use a belt or whatever it is that you have. Take your strap around your right foot and lift it straight up in the air. Now, we've done a lot of prep for kind of feeling a lot of depth in this pose. So see today, even if you usually put your left foot on the ground and keep your knee bent, experiment with maybe straightening your left leg. And if when you get there, you're like, nope, that doesn't make my pelvis feel good, then bend your knee again. But maybe explore if a straight leg version might be available today. And then I'm also reminding you, you can always do this pose in a door frame. If you stick your left leg through the door frame and your right leg is on the wall, this is a nice way to relax in this posture and just get a passive stretch through your hamstrings. All right, now while you're here, maybe you want to move your foot around. Maybe you want to point your toes, get that front of your foot. And maybe while your toes are pointed, you can wave your foot left, right. Maybe you want to flex your foot and wave your foot left, right. Just kind of remember that your ankles and your feet are very much a part of this chain that we're trying to lengthen today. All right, we're going to take the strap into the right hand, open up your leg out to the right and stretch open through your inner hamstrings, inner thigh, staying grounded through the left side of your whole body from your head to your foot. So we're stable as we're opening. We're not tipping to the right. Think less about pressing the left side and more about yielding, giving some weight. And then we'll lift that leg back up in the air and cross the right leg over to the left. Now this can get into your back and your SI joint really well. So it's not just about what's happening in your legs. So pay attention through the fullness of your body, what the impact of this pose is. And again, maybe you want to wave your foot, back and forth a little bit so that you get a little bit of that inversion, eversion. Just see what feels really good in your body. Maybe you want to take your right hand and press your right femur bone away. Pay attention to your head. Let it feel heavy and restful. All right, and then we'll bring that knee back into your chest. Give it a nice, good squeeze. And then release that leg on the ground. And just find ease for a moment. Notice your two legs. And then we'll move to the left side when you're ready. Put the left foot in the strap. Maybe your right leg can be straight today. Maybe it can't. So just kind of explore that, maybe. And then also notice, are your shoulders at ease? Do you have enough give on the strap where you're not pulling your shoulders and your neck? Have ease. Let your head drop down. How does this side feel compared to the other side? Is there any little micro adjustments you need to make? Do you want to point your toe and maybe wave your toe left, right while it's pointed? Do you want to flex your toes and wave your toes left, right while it's flexed? Just kind of find, you can do some rolls in your ankle. Just find your foot and your ankle as part of this experience. When you're ready to be still with your foot, push up into the strap and root down into the hip. Lengthening through that whole back chain. Long spine. Feel the fullness of your breath. I will take the strap into the left hand, open the left leg out to the left, and stay grounded through the right side of your body. Melting the head, feeling that rooting, that yielding of the right side. This is as much of a stretch, for me anyway, through the front of my right hip as it is for the inner thigh and hamstrings of my left leg. So just notice when you anchor that right leg down, what's available to open up. And bring that leg back up. Take the strap into the right hand, cross the left leg over to the right. See if you can feel that opening across the SI joint. Experiment with different things. Maybe your left hand presses your thigh away. See if that helps your back ease up. Maybe your foot moves. Just experiment with what you want. Long, spacious spine. All right, we'll bring that leg back up in the air. And then lower your leg down, 2 legs straight for a moment. Just feel your way into your body, letting that pose kind of settle in your body, letting the effects of it settle in your body. And let's rock our legs left and right. Roll onto your right side and grab onto your left ankle, and let's open up our quads. So heel toward your glutes. You can always stick a block under your head if you'd like, or just rest your head on your arm. And see if you can don't let your knee lift up toward the sky. Keep your knee in line with your hip, and see if you can take your whole femur bone long away from the shoulders and then back toward the wall behind you. But at the same time, you're stabilizing the pelvis. Our tail is reaching toward our knee, and our pubic bone is reaching toward our belly button. So open up all the fibers of your quads and the hip flexor too. Okay. And relax that. Bring your knees close up toward your chest. Let's take a twist open before we do the other side. Maybe head comes off the block. Open up into a twist here. Breathing deeply. A full inhale. A complete exhale. And then we'll roll to the left side. Grab onto the right ankle. Take that heel close to, toward the buttocks. You can support under your head with your arm, with a blanket, with a block, whatever feels good. And we're going to stretch our whole femur bone. So see if you can feel that sense of length, that we're growing our femur bone long. Okay. And then move your whole thigh bone back toward the wall behind you. To prevent this from turning into a back bend, we don't want to arch our back to this. We want to keep our pelvis really stable. So move your tailbone toward that knee in the air. Lift your pubic bone toward your belly button and then stretch your thigh back. Is there ease in your body or are you tense? See what you can give your breath to. How does this side feel compared to the other? All right. And then we'll find our way to twisting. So drop the knees over to the side and roll open to that twist. A full breath in, a full, complete breath out. All right, grab your block. And we're going to put our feet on the ground, lift up, put the block underneath you. Try the lower height. If you want to go middle height, you can. But start with the low height. Okay. And then we're going to straighten both our legs. Try it, and this may not be good for your back. Maybe and remember, this block's under our sacrum, not in our low back. If the block is too high, you can always put a blanket under there instead. You can try experimenting with taking your legs a little wider apart than hip width. You can experiment with hip width. And then you can also experiment with reaching the arms overhead. So we're lengthening through the whole front of our pelvis. Bring your breath into this pose. We've done a lot of round robin around the pelvis. We've stretched our inner thighs, our outer hips. We've stretched our glutes, our hamstrings, our quads. We are stretching our hip flexors. I mean, there's a lot of convergence of different muscle groups that relate to the pelvis. So let's notice all of them. All right, and then when you're ready, we'll bring our feet underneath us, adjust your pelvis a little bit, and draw your knees into your chest. So a little bit of reprieve for the back. And you can take your knees wider if you want, or knees close. A little bit of traction for your spine on that block. And you can always adjust. Sometimes I like the block just a smidge lower. Just experiment with what feels good. And then while we're here, you can either stay with your knees tucked in, or if you want, you can find a full happy baby pose and grab your feet. And again, deep flexion in the hip joints, opening up the lumbar spine. Kind of countering some of that extension we just did. And then finally, to kind of just set the pelvis, we'll lift our legs up in the air. And you can soften this. You can have your legs a little closer toward your chest than straight up. Experiment. What feels good for your pelvis? So let this be about neutralizing, softening, and kind of just letting the pelvis come into a nice, steady, stable place. Find your breath again. And then we'll put our feet down onto the ground. Lift your hips. Get the block out of there. Then we'll do one more twist. Hips scooting to the right, knees up, drop them left. Let your whole spine receive this pose. Turn your head. And then knees back up. Shift your hips to the left, knees come up and drop right. Turn your head left. Now we did a lot of focus today on the pelvis and the legs. So let's see, as we take our time to transition towards Shavasana, is there anything that your body needs? We didn't focus a lot on the upper body. Maybe you need a tricep stretch. Maybe you need a bicep stretch. Maybe you need some shoulders. Maybe what is it that you need to kind of complete your practice? So take your time. Might want to do a dog pose to kind of integrate everything. Just see what feels good in your body. Anything at all that you want to do. Anything at all. And as you think about Shavasana coming, maybe this is the day where you'd like to have your legs up on your couch or high on some bolsters. Maybe this is the day where you want to do a child's pose over a bolster for your Shavasana or lie on your side for Shavasana. So remember that it doesn't always have to be lying flat on your back. There's so many choices for what's available. So prepare for your Shavasana well. Do you need warmth? Do you want to put your socks on or your sweater on? Are there any bright lights or fans, that will kind of distract you from the ease of Shavasana? So take your time to get things just right. And as you find what it is that you need or want today, and make sure you're warm and comfy, and make sure you're supported in whatever way you need. And as you settle your body, again, let's just take a moment to feel so grateful for the self-care of our practice, for all the ways that you care for your mental and physical well-being, and then gratitude for your health in all the ways that you feel healthy in your relationships, healthy in your body, healthy in your mind, healthy in your heart. Take your time to find your way into your breathing. Whatever position you chose, let your body melt into it. Experiencing breath. Let's begin to deepen breathing. As you feel ready, you can find a little bit of movement. Take your time, finding your way to your side as you're ready. When you're ready to push yourself up, take your time to do so. And as you come upright, let's take a moment to close your eyes and bring your hands to your heart one more time. Notice your breath. Let's offer our energy. Anything we've created, let's share. Send your energy to another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.